Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I know that the first round, or maybe the 97th round between Israel and Iran concluded. We're going to go to the next one pretty soon. I guarantee you that. But it's worth noticing certain kind of behavior that really is interpreted in a certain way by the media operatives in the West and the politicians, or ignored altogether. And I'm talking about Israel's behavior. I have three topics for this video. The first one, which I think is true, this latest attack concluded and conducted by the Americans, I think dealt a big blow to the Non Proliferation movement, organizations that say, okay, no nuclear proliferation. I think it gave a big blow to that movement. Why? Because countries realized, certain countries that don't have nuclear weapons realize that is, if they didn't realize so far, that if you don't have nuclear weapons, you could be targeted at will, militarily attacked by whomever, these guys, and you can't do anything but retaliate with conventional weapons. At the end, you could be destroyed by nuclear weapons, obviously, therefore they will always have the upper hand. So that's the first topic. The second topic, maybe you heard many times before that the Russians used all kind of chemical weapons in Ukraine, including, not depleted uranium shells. Those are used by the good people, but the, how do you call them, cluster munition. Remember, they claim the Russians use cluster munition and all that as munition that spreads and kills and so on. So that's one. The Ukrainians used those, including the depleted uranium shells. Well, according to some reports, the Israeli military is using that. I haven't heard an outrage in the Western media, so-called, about that. But I heard a lot of outrage coming from the same people when the Russians were accused of using some cluster munition, not uranium-depleted munition. And the last topic, I guarantee you heard about the successful Iranian attacks on the evil Israelis' attack on the evil Iranian scientists. I totally disagree with attacking scientists, because scientists are civilians. And if you say, yes, but civilians help the war effort or the evil of the government, so do the people with their taxes. So do the people working for industries unrelated to the arms manufacturing companies, like, for instance, bottled water. Bottled water is used for military. They drink water bottled. So the people, if you don't drink water, you die. So therefore, the companies who bottle water, let's say in Iran, where civilians are working, should also be bum. No, the people who, let's say, they use in an industry where they manufacture or smelter or whatever they do in order to build tanks or missiles. But you can also build other things, airplanes, or maybe you can build cars. They should always, or not always, also be targeted. So I'm going to show you how Israel targeted Iranian nuclear scientists along with their families. Is that acceptable? Now, if you say it's acceptable, I hope it happens to you. That is, when someone designates you as being bad, you personally, then as a collateral damage, something happens to your loved ones, and see if you agree with that. I'm sorry that I have to sometimes get personal, but we have to be able to think ahead, think in abstract terms sometimes, be objective. And if we need to turn it subjective, that means we are unable to be objective. That's why I use these examples, not to hurt your feelings or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure you already understood what I said without using the personal example. So let's start with the first one. Sputnik, Iran's president, US-Israeli attacks deal irreparable blow to nuclear non-proliferation. I think that's 100% true. 100% true. And I'm quoting, the military attack by the US and the Zionist regime on Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities, which are under the full control of the IAEA, is a gross violation of all international rules and deals an irreparable blow to the status of the nuclear non-proliferation regime by a permanent member of the UN Security Council. 100%. 100%. You ask me to follow, because I'm a signatory of IAEA and Non-Proliferation Treaty, you ask me, and I do, not to create nuclear warheads, right? And non-proliferation is not giving and taking. And you, on the other hand, don't raise the question with Israel. What credibility do you have? I tell you, not zero, negative 3,592 credibility, negative. So I think it's true a lot of countries now will try to acquire it. And unfortunately, when that will happen, when, not if, when that will happen, the same guys who I hold responsible, partly, I would say big time, they will be the ones that are going to come in front of you and going to say, oh my God, that's awful. The same as right now, they look, for instance, at South Africa and say, what's going on over there, man? Or they look at, for instance, Libya. What's going on over there, man? Well, it's you. It's been you. It's been you. But they don't like to look back at the crimes they committed. Why? They're just destroyers. So that's the first topic. Let's go to the second topic. Sputnik. Israel may have used depleted uranium ammunition in attacks on key facilities in Iran. Now, the key word is may have. May. Report. Let's see whose report. Preliminary testing at the impact sites showed traces of uranium, but these are not yet final conclusions. The news agency reported, adding that a further investigation is underway. So who said that? Israel may have used depleted uranium ammunition in attacks on a number of important facilities in Iran. The Fars, this is Iranian media outlet, news agency reported on Thursday, citing a source. All right, well, what if Israel used depleted uranium? Israel is an ally of the United States of America. America entered against Iran to protect the baboons. So is Ukraine, we're told. Ukraine was provided with depleted uranium shells by Great Britain. Outrage? Only the Germans. Only the Germans showed mild outrage about this one. Now, if you consider depleted uranium shells as being, as some consider them use of chemical agents, then you should be against it, whomever use it. Doesn't matter if it's America, Israel, France, Germany, Romania, or whatever. I would like you to do this little homework for me. Please go and check the increase of cancer cases in former Yugoslavia after NATO bombardment of Yugoslavia. Please do that. And some say it's related to the depleted uranium shells used by NATO. Please do that for me. And then you tell me that Assad has had chemical weapons and we have to make sure we get rid of them. Why? So only these guys can use it? Please do that. I think it's an increase of about, if I remember, 1,000 times or something. There's no way around it. These guys use chemical weapons to hit Yugoslavia. So they tell me now that Israel used it. They allowed Israel to have nuclear weapons. Allowed, that's the key word, allowed, and helped some of the Western countries. Let's go to the third topic, which I think is the most vomiting-like topic. Sputnik. Israel targets Iranian nuclear scientists along with their families. The Israel Defense Forces launched Operation Rising Lion, poop, poop, poop. The Israel strikes also killed an array of Iranian nuclear scientists. These are civilians and their dear ones. Okay, and we have the examples and names. Sediki Saber was killed this morning in Gilan, Just days earlier, his 17-year-old son, Mohammad Reza Sadiqi Saber, died in an Israeli attack on their home in Tehran. Isar Tabatabai Koshme, a renowned nuclear scientist, was killed on June 21 along with his wife in their home. Mostafa Sadati Armaki and his friend and his family, including his daughters, plural, aged 8 and 15, and his 5-year-old son, were killed in an Israeli attack. Ali Bakui, a nuclear scientist from Mazandaran, died on June 15 along with his family in an Israeli attack. Earlier, reports surfaced that during the first hours of Israel's attack, top Iranian commanders were allegedly threatened with the deaths of their families unless they filmed surrender videos within 12 hours. So they filmed surrender videos within 12 hours. No surrender videos ever surfaced online. I don't know if that's true, but let's say it's true. Let's say it's not true. These guys are lying, and end of conversation. Now, do you agree with this kind of attacks? Did you agree with the, I would say, assassination, dirty assassination operation conducted by IDF with the pagers and the walkie-talkie? Remember? I don't care about those guys. Bad dudes, whatever they are. But bad dudes are on both sides, all sides. It's not like these guys are all good, the other guys are all evil. This is in Hollywood, this is in the Bible, this is in science fictions. Forget about it. We're not talking about that kind of unicorn garbage and fairy tales. The thing is this: there are good people, bad people, good people, bad people. We all have this duality, yin yang, if you want. So, are you okay with destroying that bad guy, but his family is around with? His family is not guilty, okay? He's not guilty of what you accuse that bad guy of being. Are you okay with that? You can't be okay with that because it's illegal. Under our, and not only our laws, it's illegal. That's collective punishment. Whomever does this is a criminal. And in my books, and again, if you don't think so, I will get personal. And I will say, well, then if someone has a problem with you, let's say, and you are his enemy, he can go over there and get your child from school, for instance, and, I don't know, hurt you by hurting that. And you say, well, that's fair game, man. I will do the same thing to you. Is that how it works? Now, I know this is war. I understand that. But at least say it. Man, we fucked you up and we don't care. But when it happens to you, I don't want you to cry like a bitch. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.